What is up, Retro Maniacs? My name is Mike. His name is Joe. His name is EP. We're here to talk about cards. First show of 2024. We're going to look back at 2023 and we're going to give you our picks for the top 5 stories in the hobby for 2023. Some of these we combined a couple things together because they're very similar stories that happened, but I'm going to get right into it. Number 5. We have former NFL players scamming our hobby. We've got Evan Mathis with his trimming of cards and the video showing how to do it and the admission of how many he sent to PSA and got graded. And we also have Blake Martinez, the former football player that made so much money selling Pokemon cards that he didn't have to play football anymore. Strangely, by the end of the year, he's trying to play football again because he can't make money selling Pokemon cards because he had to scam people. Again, the Evan Mathis thing is gross. The card trimming, showing people how to do it, being so blatant and open about it, like some people applauding it, going, oh, this is great that he's showing people like what's going on. He was a scammer. He wasn't doing it for his own personal collection. He might have some in his, but he was also doing it to take advantage of people and make money. And Blake Martinez scamming people on Whatnot so bad that he got booted off of Whatnot, which is not easy to do. Yes,
it takes a lot.
So that's our number 5. Talk a little bit about it, Joe.
I hate Blake Martinez more in this than I do Evan Mathis. Like, they both are shitty people and they did terrible things and they're trying to scam people in the hobby. At least with Evan Mathis, like, it gave us the opportunity to kind of do an autopsy of how our grading companies aren't really as, they don't know everything, because this guy easily got cards through. Like, he was not shy about it. He's like, I've tricked PSA so many times. They don't know what they're doing. It kind of gave us an opportunity to take a step back and look and maybe realize that, hey, a grader, it's just one person's opinion. They don't know everything. You've got this former Philadelphia Eagle and New York Giant. I think you've got this guy. You've got this guy who is showing us how to scam PSA. Unfortunately, that also leads to him scamming other people who may not have the money that he has, being a former Giant and Eagle, to then spend on cards. For Blake Martinez, for me, it was more of he's straight up just stealing from people. Like, it was so bad. He got kicked off of the worst platform in the hobby somehow. Like, no one. And the reason this was my vote for the one of the top 5 stories is because this made national news. Him leaving the NFL to pursue this, and then him getting caught scamming and getting kicked off of Whatnot also made non-hobby news. It made mainstream news. So, yeah, both guys, just terrible people in the hobby, and they came from the NFL. Former players, stay away. We don't need this. We can do this all on our own. We don't need you to help us scam.
We have plenty of scammers already.
Right.
I don't understand the Blake Martinez thing at all. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, just the absolute theft when he was making probably millions of dollars. Like, he was actually a really good. Like I don't know if he ever made the Pro Bowl, but he had a pretty decent career when he was with the.
He won a Super Bowl.
Packers,
won Super Bowl.
Yeah. I definitely making millions of dollars. So now he's got to the point now where he's scamming people with Pokemon cards.
And he was right? He was the biggest Pokemon seller on Whatnot. Like, he had a good, legitimate business, and he had to screw it up to scam people to make a little bit more money.
Right,
crazy.
This doesn't make any sense. I really pushed for Evan Mathis for a number 5 story, just because I felt like this had such a, like, when we talked about it, like the wide reach of this thing, talking about how everybody's doing it. Like, not everybody, but he was saying, like, everybody, all the scammers, that all the card trimmers are doing this, and how many were getting through, and it was easier to do newer cards than it was to do older cards, like all these different things. And like, it just, my mind is still spinning thinking about the number of people that have probably done this. And then PSAs, you have a card that's squished in a thing, and they send it back to you. Like we talked about that, I think, in the Monday show. But they're sending those back to some people, but then people like Evan Mathis are doing this, and they're getting their cards through. So I feel like there's just a lot of tentacles, evil villain tentacles that come out of this Evan Mathis thing. Again, like you said, he's showing people. The people are apologetic, saying, "Oh, he's showing people, this is what's being done." It's also a tutorial for the people who want to do it to start doing it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. That's a good point.
You can't put that stuff out there. Like I really think that, and I also wanted to say this was at a point when one of these two was at a point during our conversations where I was like, we should hand out an Idiot of the Week award because of how many people we had a stretch there 4 or 5 weeks in a row where we're just talking about somebody doing something crappy like this to the people in the hobby. It's terrible.
Yeah, and the Evan Mathis thing, like showing how it's done, what good does that do? Like, how does that help it? Because here we are at the beginning of 2024, and pretty much everybody's forgotten about it. Like, there's no talk about card trimming. It's not the hot topic. It's still going on. We really haven't learned anything. PSA hasn't changed anything. Yeah.
Everyone normalizes shit like this.
It might be even worse after his tutorial, right?
Yeah.
It might be even worse after his tutorial.
Could be.
Yeah, everything does get normalized, unfortunately, and it doesn't change anything. So him coming out and doing it didn't make any difference. I don't see any difference in the hobby. Let us know if you see some kind of difference from it. I hoped and wished at the time that it would make some kind of difference, but again, just like everything else, just forget about it. It'll go away. If you're PSA, we'll just let it blow over, and it does. So, all right, the number 4 story, as we put it, is the NFL rookie quarterbacks signing exclusive deals with Fanatics. We brought this up a little bit, but now that we're at the end of the year and the beginning of 2024, we're seeing the effects that it actually has on card collecting. Like we saw National Treasures Collegiate drop. We saw Prism go pretty low on the Dutch auction there. Like, it is really not only impacting Panini's business, it's also impacting collectors. And what has Fanatics done? Like, I thought at least they would be putting some kind of product out or some more Tops Now cards, like frequently with autographs and stuff on it. But I mean, I don't keep track of everything. Maybe they have released some, but I don't see a lot of it out there. I haven't noticed much talk about any of it. So I'm assuming there's not a whole lot out there. So, like, in hindsight, now having seen, was it just completely done to hurt Panini?
I think so. I remember talking about this when the story first broke, and I said the only people that are going to get hurt by this, I mean, Panini financially, but they're still going to be able to sell their products. Granted, lower than what we thought, what probably they thought they were going to sell them for. But the people who want to collect Bryce Young and CJ Stroud and Will Levis in their pro uniforms, EP and I have a difference of opinion on pro uniforms versus college uniforms. I think we both agree that unlicensed uniforms are the worst, the airbrushed and whatnot. But like, collectors who are, say, a Carolina Panthers fan who really wanted that Bryce Young rookie autograph or RPA or whatever, they're the ones who are really getting hurt by this, and it sucks for them. From the business side of it, I follow the Dutch auctions. Not that I'm ever going to buy, but I always find it interesting. Like, Collegiate, which isn't one of their bigger products, but it went down to almost the bottom for the first off the line Dutch auction, which is unheard of. Even last year with a weak quarterback class, no offense, I love you, Kenny, with a weak quarterback class, that still went well above the bottom. Prism, one of the biggest, like, not super elite products of the year, that went down, I think, first off the line to $900 a box. Still ridiculous. Absolutely still ridiculous. But last year, what would it have gone for? $1,500 a box?
Yeah.
You had all the top quarterbacks with autographs and RPAs and things like that in it. It would have went for a lot more. So now you have collectors who the best they can hope for at this point are some of the parallels, some of the short print parallels of these quarterbacks. If you like RPAs, which is where most of the hobby drives when they're talking about these high-end cards, if you want an RPA, if you want an autograph card of one of these rookie quarterbacks, you're kind of shit out of luck if you want them in their pro uniforms. So, yeah, I think this year, and probably I wouldn't be surprised if Fanatics signs the quarterback class that's coming out into April's draft here in a few
Mhm.
months. I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same thing. And again, until they get the license, it's just going to hurt the collectors.
Yeah, Joe, you hit the nail on the head. I think the collectors are the ones that really hurt here because it's not my bag, but the RPAs are like these players are never going to have an RPA. Like it's gone.
Right.
Like the RPAs have been a thing for how long? Since the early 2000s, right? And these
Mhm.
players who, I mean, CJ Stroud, he's doing record-setting, record-breaking stuff. So there's not going to be an RPA available for him. There will be autographs, some sort of autographs available from Fanatics, but the actual true RPA of him, rookie card of him in his uniform, is just not gonna exist. And Prism is driven more so by the colors than by the autographs. So the silver prisms are still gonna they're gonna still trade by quite a bit. Like people are gonna be buying and selling those quite a bit. But even still, there's something special about getting a rookie autograph of a player like that. That is, I mean, especially like in baseball, that's considered to be like the card. And I think it's really grown that way in football too. The RPA is really, really sought after by a lot of people.
The
And
true RPA is like
yeah,
the card to get
right.
for a rookie at this point.
Right. Yeah. And I from the business perspective of it, like there was a point where it seemed like the Panini and based on some of the stuff that in the lawsuits that we're going to talk about later, like it seemed like there was the Panini and Fanatics, like there was going to be some sort of purchase was going to happen if Fanatics was going to own Panini at one point. It seemed like that was almost imminent, I think, at one point, and according to some of the documentation, if I remember correctly. But but even still, why even bother signing those players if you're going to make that happen anyway? It seems like a tactic to kind of push those the purchase one way or another, and obviously it didn't work out in this case.
All right, the number 3 story we have are the licensing lawsuits. We had the breaking news come out that the NFLPA was just dropping Panini's license. Then a little after that, we saw WWE was doing the same thing. Both are still in. Actually, the WWE one has been settled, although we haven't heard the terms of it. Although there have been pictures surfacing online of wrestlers signing Panini cards, so it does look like whatever that settlement was will mean Panini will be releasing stuff, but they haven't released anything since that lawsuit, like since WWE dropped them and they had to sue them. And of course, they're making football again, but we don't know what the resolution is going to be with the NFLPA. So that, I mean, crazy times. Like, I don't like there have always been hobby lawsuits, but like lawsuits that are saying you can no longer make cards. I don't remember this happening. Like just boom, one day everything's going on, and next day, no, you're not allowed to make cards. So like I'm a wrestling card collector. There has been nothing come out like for 6-8 months now. It's been a long time. Like there has been nothing. And like, are they going to cancel the rest of the 2022? Are they going to release? Like, I don't know what's happening. There's not even a release schedule for anything. Like I said, it looks like that Panini at the very least is going to be allowed to release cards in this settlement they have, but I don't know. Is Fanatics going to be doing it too? When are they going to get them? Like, it has really, really destroyed the wrestling card market, like for new product, because there's just nothing to buy, like literally nothing to buy, which is like every collector's nightmare. There's nothing new coming out. What are your thoughts on these?
Oh, the two of the first ones we've talked about, at the end of the day, it's just doing nothing but screwing the collector, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you have the lawsuit with WWE, like you said, Mike. Who's getting hurt by this? Panini will end up making products, sure, and they'll be able to. They're a big business; they can deal with it. Fanatics, it doesn't affect them at all because they didn't have the license in the first place, so it's not like they were losing money. It's the collectors who are getting absolutely screwed in this, just like collectors of, like I said, the Panthers and the Titans and the Texans who want to see their quarterbacks in RPAs. Like, it almost seems like these big companies don't care about collectors. I think I've been saying that for an entire year. Could you imagine like these big businesses only care about how it affects them and their finances, and they really don't care about the collectors? Say what you will about Panini, and I've said plenty. Like, some people might think I'm a Panini apologist. Some people think I might hate Panini. I mean, that's why I feel like I'm in a good spot, because I'm pretty down the middle with them. This is not their fault. I mean, this is the WWE's fault. Whatever side deal behind the door, behind the closed door with WWE, to try and get the license to Fanatics quicker, right? So I don't know. Like, as much as we want to shit on Panini, and I'm all for it because there are some terrible, terrible things that they do. Them being sued by WWE to not make WWE products have really, really hurt the collector. For the NFLPA thing, I was wrong. I thought there was going to be another shooter drop. When this story first came out, Mike, we had a special podcast. Like, EP wasn't even available, and you and I had a special video about it because we thought, well, this is going to be a thing that drives some other things to happen, and it didn't. It turned into almost a nothing burger because Panini kept making products. Fanatics didn't get the license, and you still have NFLPA licensed stuff in Panini products. So, yeah, it was kind of shocking how that kind of turned into nothing when we thought it was going to be the biggest story for the next 6 months.
Yeah, I'm surprised Panini didn't have any cards like I feel like they probably should have had some cards already printed or like ready to go. Like 6 to 8 months is quite a bit. The settlement was a couple months ago, wasn't
it? The issue, I believe, is WWE, I think, has to approve their releases. And I think because Panini won the court case, they weren't approving the releases of new product. So, yeah, like it hurts WWE too. Like, they're losing out on money on this too. Like, they're not putting any product out. So I don't know how this was an end result of a win for them. My dogs are very upset about this.
They're very upset about the whole thing.
So, yeah. So I think that was WWE kind of, imagine that being spiteful.
Ask all their former wrestlers. They'll agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with everything Joe said as on top of it. Just, I mean, yeah, terrible for the collectors.
Okay, our number 2 story, EP, near and dear to your heart. A lot of SuperFractors this year put out there by Bowman. Not only did we had the duplicate SuperFractor, we had 95 of them that had doubles that they came out and they're throwing money at to make that problem go away. And then just a little while later, they have backdoored SuperFractors coming out of the factory, the plant. We've talked a lot about that in the last couple weeks. Like, again, like, you got to get it together. You got to stop this stuff from happening because you're hurting the hobby and you're hurting your business and you're hurting your bottom line. You're not growing the hobby 10x no matter how many influencers you bring into the hobby if you can't get your shit straight to begin with. That's where I'm going to leave it.
I mean, if you get a SuperFractor and you get a SuperFractor and you get a SuperFractor,
I know it's like Oprah out here.
That's how they can 10x it, just everybody gets a SuperFractor.
You get one, and you get one.
I mean, I think it's like 4 like releases in a row, like Bowman releases in a row that have had issues with SuperFractors. Like, it's bonkers to think about because like I've said this before. The SuperFractor was that, like, I always held it on this like pedestal as the true one of one. A lot of people thought of it as the true one of one. It's a fancy design with the autograph and everything, and like when you got a SuperFractor, you knew this was the only one of one. Where some other products, they have multiple one of ones, different parallels, that's that are one of ones. But the SuperFractor was always kind of held up on this pedestal. But now we find out that there are maybe 3, 4, 5. Who knows how many SuperFractors are out there? Like, and you think about how like that backdoor, the guy that got the backdoor SuperFractors, I would assume that hasn't happened. This isn't the first time that's happened. So you wonder how many other one of ones out there aren't the true one of ones that are still sitting in packs or sitting in somebody's collection, and they just don't know that it's a that there's already one out there allegedly it's a fake one. So I feel like this story to me was one of my least favorite stories of the year. Not necessarily that we didn't talk about it, but just from the fact of now this thing that I held on this pedestal is now like I guess they're probably it's not the true one of one. So yeah, that's very upsetting to me.
And you made a good point by calling it the true 101 because I agree. SuperFractors are we make fun of Panini, rightfully so, that how many 101s are in a product. Like Prism has the true black 1 of 1, and then the true the shimmer 1 of 1, and then the die cut shimmer 1 of 1, right? Super Refractor was supposed to be it, right? It was like EP said, it's on this pedestal. To the greater point though, how many F-ups? You're welcome, everyone. Are we monetized yet? Can I say the F-bomb still? How many screw-ups can Fanatics have before we start saying, do we really want these people in charge of this hobby for the next 20 years? Like, when they
nothing we can do about it.
There's nothing we can do about it. When they first took over, they had the thing where they totally forgot to put the rookies in the set. And we're like, you know what? We're not going to blame Fanatics. Mm-hmm. It was still Topps. It was probably their fault. I think that is so much less worse than multiple Superfractors going, because we're talking real money.
Well, they overcorrected. Oh, we didn't put anything in, so let's put extra in.
Let's throw it all in there.
We all overcorrect sometimes.
So you have the quality control, the printing issues, and let's not forget, they own the printing company.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the worst part. EP made a very, very good point that, hey, they at least let Panini use this printing company. If I'm Panini, I'm thinking, shit, should we be using this printing company? they're letting our greens walk out the back door too.
Right.
That ain't great. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Fanatics, we're stuck with them 20 years. There's no opt out. We're stuck with them for 20 years. They need to button it up, or they're going to lose the true collectors and just keep the people that are flipping or gambling, which maybe for them, they don't really care. EP, I'm going to break it to you. They don't care about the true collectors who are set building Topps flagship. They care about the people who are flipping cards. And those people really don't care about these screw-ups, because at the end of the day, they're still going to make their money by flipping these high-end cards. And then the next 1-of-1 drops, it doesn't matter because I already made my money, right? So, yes, corporations are terrible.
This is true. Okay, Joe, but I'm here to tell you there is hope, because our number one story is, of course, the Panini antitrust lawsuit against Fanatics. You know, I still kind of think they have no chance, but hey, maybe we should start throwing our support behind Panini, because this is the only way we're not going to have Fanatics for 20 years. Yeah, you know, we're not going to do that. But yes, I mean, huge news, an antitrust lawsuit. I mean, I'm not going to. We've talked about it. I don't think they have any kind of a case, but they do have some very good points that they're making out. I don't think they're going to win this. I don't think the lawsuit was ever made expecting that they're going to win. I still think it's a negotiating tactic that they're going to eventually end up settling this, and Fanatics will take over everything and Panini will move on. But you know they did raid their talent, and Joe, you were very adamant about maybe Fanatics shouldn't hire all the Panini people, and now seeing everything that's happened, I think you might be right with that. And the signing of the rookies, like, they're saying, well, they're only doing this to hurt us. And now looking back, it was pretty effective too. But this was a big deal. We do joke a little bit about it, but there's a lot of animosity between these companies, and Fanatics takes it personally. I think Panini is taking it personally, kind of ugly. I don't know if it's going to get better or worse as time goes on here, but I do expect a settlement at some point.
Well, what makes it worse though is that, sure, Fanatics takes it personally. Well, it's not personal, it's business, right? Was that The Godfather or whatever? Like, they take it personally as in terms of how it affects them financially. What I've always found weird about this whole thing is how Panini fanboys and how Fanatics fanboys take it so personally. These are two companies, though, joking aside to EP and his Fanatics fanaticism. You like that? I'm a beer in, and I still crack that one out. Joking aside about all that, though, like, you've got these people, and it's not just the wars between Fanatics and Panini. You see it with PSA versus SGC. You see it with Ultra Pro versus BCW. You see all these different companies and these collectors just clashing. They don't care about you. Stop standing up for them so much. They don't care about you. They care about the bottom line. And a lot of the stuff that Panini said in the lawsuit, sure, it should reflect on them as well, but they ain't wrong. What they're saying, they're not wrong. Sure, they're being hypocritical because they could put the mirror on themselves. But if you look at what Fanatics has done since they've kind of taken over the hobby, I don't look at much of what Panini said in that lawsuit and say, oh, you're way off base. I could say, yes, you're correct. You've been doing it too, but yes, you're correct. Ever since exclusives became a part of the deal, and I forget who video I was watching, but someone had mentioned like the first exclusive was Upper Deck in the NHL. Like they kind of opened up the floodgates, and Panini came in and they started scarfing up exclusives, and now Fanatics is like, we want everything. I mean, exclusives are really the villain in this thing.
Well, I agree 100%. Like that, in my opinion, that's kind of ruined the hobby, because you think back to the days when like were the micro trading cards, like retro, like back in the 90s when you had like all the Fleer and all the Donruss and all the Tops and Leaf, and everybody could produce football, baseball, basketball cards. You just produce whatever you want. And this exclusivity is really has hurt us quite a bit. I feel like when this news first broke on the show, I dropped an F-bomb because of the hypocrisy.
First F-bomb of the show.
Well,
yeah.
First F-bomb of the show, not the channel. I believe your wrestling podcast takes the cake on that one, Mike.
Just the sheer hypocrisy of the lawsuit, and I agree, Joe, that the Fanatics, this stuff has come to light, and like one of the good things about lawsuits is that one of the good things about lawsuits, but a lot of times in these kinds of lawsuits, like the details come out about all these things, like
the lights come on and the cockroaches scurry.
Right, exactly. And so like that's actually a really good thing for collectors to be able to see, hey, the list of all these things that are going on. But like you said, as much as Fanatics is being blamed for these things, Panini also has been doing these things for as long as they've had licenses. But now that it's out there, and apparently do we think they realized that they were also doing it? Like that was the hypocrisy part of it for me. Like
I'm sure they know there, but
okay, yeah. I mean, so that was the thing. Like the hypocrisy of it is just insane to me.
And I'll make one last point for me on this, and I made that point when we were talking about the lawsuits. For whatever it's worth, and for whatever like contract, we're stuck with Fanatics for 20 years. We were never really technically stuck with Panini for that long. If the pandemic happened 10 years ago and a company similar to Fanatics wanted to come in, they had openings every, I think it was 5-year deals with Panini and the leagues. So another company could have come in at a certain point and taken that away. No one did until Fanatics was like, oh, we're Fanatics. We'll do whatever we want. And they come in and they locked it for 20 years. So you don't like Panini, there was at least a light at the end of the tunnel that maybe in 5 years when that contract comes up, if another company wants to come in and take it over, there's potential. 20 years, we're in. We are locked in, everyone. So hold on.
Quick prediction. Is the lawsuit settled by the end of 2024? Joe?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. EP is a yes.
Oh, yes.
EP is a yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes because we have 12 months. So, yes, I think in 12 months, something will be settled.
I'm going to go yes, too. So,
okay.
But there you have
December
it.
30th. December 30th of 2024.
So they get it in right before, so we're right. And if not, I'll just edit this out in the future, and we'll make it look great somehow. All right, but those are our top 5 stories in the hobby from 2023. Yeah, let us know what you thought was the biggest story of the year. We're always interested in interacting with our viewers. Let us know what you think. You're not right. You're not wrong. Just let us know. So other than that, we will be back next week. See you guys.
See you.